Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Can you hear me? I want to know that you guys can hear me before I really get started. Hey, everybody. Might not make it here for very long. What else? That sounds good, Moody. This is going to be up on replay for tomorrow, and so okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, how many people we got in? We only got like 38 people, but I'm going to go ahead and get started because the past few days, there's been a lot going on. So you guys know all about the KJ lawsuit, the Tati Westbrook lawsuit. Just a quick breakdown. Without a Crystal Ball, YouTuber who talks a lot about Tati Westbrook made claims that Tati Westbrook's husband had his mom on her deathbed, signed over money and land, and then took her off life support, essentially killing her after they got the land. It's okay, Candy. It's okay. Katie has been going after Tati for quite some time, but Katie has not only went after Tati, Katie has went after other people as well. I am someone included. People are saying this lawsuit is fake. I heard that, Harmony. I saw another creator saying that. Now, I don't believe for a second that Tati faked this because Tati had to put out money for this lawsuit. Tati went off YouTube. Her views are not what they used to be. If she was still on YouTube, she would still be getting views. Now, while maybe some of these other players are doing the most for views, that's up for you guys to decide. So here's what's going on. Florien was a follower of Katie. She was in the chat. She was a member. She sent super chats all the time. When me and Katie Joy butted heads, Florien was one of the ones. I cut my finger, so if you guys see this Band-Aid. But Florien was one of the ones that really went hard for Katie, and she didn't really like me that much because I guess it really you kind of pick sides for the most part. Like when this whole situation between me and Katie was going down, a lot of people did pick sides, and Florien, she picked Katie's side. Katie referred to Florien as her bulldog. Like she would say, like, "Oh, Florien, don't forget who you are. She'll go after you." When this lawsuit come up, Katie tried to get it dismissed on grounds of jurisdiction, saying like, "Oh, I don't make money in Washington, so why would the lawsuit be there?" So one of Saltz's situations, he had to prove that Katie made money from Washington. Well, Florien lives in Washington. So that was like a huge thing because it's like, wow, here's like this this avid viewer, this member and everything that, let me see, that lives in Washington. So right here we have proof that she generates revenue out of Washington, right? Now, Salty would tweet things, and Florien questioned whether or not Saltz was a real attorney. Apparently, she looked up who Salty was in the picture. He seemed to be a younger guy, so she didn't believe that Salty was really Salty. So they kind of went back and forth. Florien was brought into this lawsuit. There was a declaration done by Kim, and in Kim's declaration, Kim said that Kim talked about a Florien, gave an address and information. I don't know what all it gave, but Kim brought up this Florien. The Florien was not the correct Florien, though. The information was for another Florien. So Florien contacted Katie and was like, "Hey, that's not the right Florien. So I need you guys to make that known." Katie was like, "I can't talk about the lawsuit." Now, we all know Katie. If Katie wanted to talk about the lawsuit, she would have talked about the lawsuit. Really, she didn't even need to. All she needed to say was, "Okay, I'll let my attorney know." Yeah, we need to get on that. That's the wrong Florien. I don't want that Florien getting problems. I don't want people calling that Florien's job. So I will let my attorney know, and he will get this fixed. It'll be put out there that that's not the right Florien. But Katie was like, "Can't talk about it." So Florien was like, I'll go to Salts myself and I'll get this fixed. And Katie was like, no, 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 you can go to my attorney. Florien did end up speaking to Brown. Brown was Katie's attorney. Brown still would not get this fixed. Brown still would not say, like, hey, this is not the right Florien. And from Florien's declaration on Salts' side, Brown wanted Florien to sign a blank declaration. There were a lot of things that, from the way that we look at it now, that didn't sit well with Florien. So Florien was like, I see who the real slimeball is here. That was like her last email to Brown, and contacted Salts. She told Salts about the wrong Florien that was put out there. He did, do a declaration saying this is the fake Florien. So when Florien's declaration for Tati's side come out, everybody was blown away. We was like, hold up. Katie's like number one follower, like number one fan, done a declaration for Salts, like on Tati's side, going against Katie. In her declaration, it talked about mass flagging. It talked about how her and Katie had conversations, how Katie knew where she lived. Like, it was not unknown to Katie. According to Florien, they were Facebook friends. It said on her Facebook account, one of the first times she reached out to Katie, she even said, I'm from Washington. So Katie would have known that. I'm sorry, you guys, my nose is itchy. So we were all just shocked by Florien seeming to swap sides, right? So the lawsuit has since been dismissed. We have all been waiting on Salts to refile in Minnesota, which is where Katie lives, right? Minnesota? Did I say that right? Yeah. And don't she live in Minnesota? I always get it confused where she lives. So we're all waiting for Salts to file where she lives. So jurisdiction will not be a problem. In the meantime, I was contacted by someone, and I was told a few things, right? So I was told that since this whole thing took off, that Florien has really been struggling. That yes, Florien was, she believed Katie to be a good person. And when she saw otherwise, it was really heartbreaking for her. So she did talk to Salts, but that whole thing was heartbreaking as well. I was told that, like, this is affecting Florien's real life. So Florien has a child, and this is causing problems with her child now. I was told that allegedly people from the case have contacted Florien's ex-husband, and now he has been involved in trying to take her son from her to where she cannot see her son. And they're basically trying to like run with like, oh, Lori's violent. Lori's crazy, So this has really been hard for Florien. Eventually, I did get to talk to Florien. Now, I've not talked to Florien too much in depth about that part of it. Mainly, we spoke, the gist of it was really about her involvement in the lawsuit and just all of that, right? So Florien will be coming on my channel Thursday to talk about her part in this lawsuit, what happened, how things played out, and I will ask her questions on what I was told by a source. Now, from what I understand, Kim, you guys know Kim, she done the declaration talking about how Lori was, that Lori threatened her. One thing that we did not see was the rest of the comments on that post. They were going back and forth. It wasn't just Lori threatening them for no reason. There was a back and forth there that was not shown in those screenshots. But those screenshots where Lori was like, hey, I have family and they'll take care of me. Like, if you want to come on. But, I'm not going to take it laying down. I do have family that, will defend me. Well, that is being used to paint Lori in a certain way. I'm so sorry. Allegedly, from what this person understands, Kim reached out to Lori's ex-husband to basically get dirt on her. I think Salts also allegedly reached out to Lori's ex-husband. Now, I do not know if Salts reached out to him before Lori switched sides or after Lori switched sides and began talking to Salts. I'm not sure because I'm just speaking to a source and getting just a little bit of information. Let me take a drink because I have something in my throat. Okay, so when Florien comes on, that'll be something that I ask her when she's here. I'll ask her about the ex-husband situation. But what I do know is when I did speak to Lori AM when we first got on the phone, she was very upset because this has been affecting her real life. And she just wants to get her story out there. She just wants to tell her story, what her involvement was in it. She wants to put the truth out there about how close her and KJ are. Thanks, babe. The mass flagging situation. She wants to talk about that. She's going to give more details into what she meant when she said that. I hope so too. If you guys have kept up with this whole entire thing, you guys know that Florien did not like me. So for me to have her on my channel is a big deal because when I was arrested, Florien talked about that on Unistream. She would talk about, the fact that I was arrested and that maybe I was not who I portrayed on my channel. When my charges were dropped, she talked about the fact that maybe they were just dropped because COVID, So this is a big deal. I spoke to Lori. Lori apologized. She was like, I'm very sorry. And I forgive Lori. I do forgive her. I never think, I've always thought that, especially if you are a subscriber, this should not affect your real life. As a creator, as a small creator, it shouldn't affect your real life. You know what I'm saying? I get, the bigger you get, the more that it could affect your real life. But as a viewer, just you, Sweet Tea and Family, just you, Police Wife Life, just you, Miss Cassandra, just you, Shar. Could you imagine, if this affected your real life? If people saw you in my chats and, linked you to my channel. So because they didn't like me, there was a back and forth, and then there was a lawsuit, and you were dragged into this lawsuit for whatever reason. And then this really literally affected, your ex-husband become involved because people reached out to him to get dirt on you. And, people's trying to take your kid from you because of internet drama. I don't agree with that. I think that it's ridiculous. I'm blown away. Now, this is allegations. I'm going to see if I can get Lori to talk more about this, that, Kim reached out to her ex-husband to get dirt on Lori. No matter what, I just don't understand why that would even happen. I could understand maybe reaching out to a relative to be like, hey, your parents going hard for me on the internet. Can you maybe tell them to stop? But to get dirt, that's a little much. This, in the end, this is just YouTube drama. It really should not affect your real life. Don't let it affect your real life if you can help it. So the fact that this has affected her life so much in such a negative way, when we were on the phone, she was very emotional. There were times she was very emotional because of this. So I want to give her the opportunity. I want to give her the opportunity to tell her side of the story. She did tell me that she made mistakes. She realized that. And I know some people, are going to be leery of that. And I get that. I completely understand. Lori went hard for me. She really did. But when I talked to her on the phone and I really kind of heard her as a human being, when she really got to understand how much her words affected me too, because we talked about that. I think that's one thing you really don't realize, how much your words can affect someone and how much it'll be a lasting impression on them when you say certain things. Yes, moderate extremist, I'm sorry for your loss. So I just want to give her that opportunity to Well, I don't know what Lori's going to say on my platform. That did not come from Lori. That come from someone else. And that's why I say allegedly, because this person told me that it was believed to be Kim. No, they shine in the thing. It makes a big old mess. Oh. And if I don't know something for sure, I will say allegedly. It is believed to be. There were two people that reached out to the ex-husband. We know one to be Salt. Salt spoke to the ex-husband. The ex-husband flew to California, from what I am understanding, to speak to Salt about everything. I don't know if this was before Lori done her declaration for Salt or not. So that will be something that I will ask her when she comes on. I will ask her if she knows more about who contacted her ex. But this was someone else that told me this. So I'm not going to put that on Lorianne. I will ask her questions about that. Thank you, Lori Carter, for the super sticker. Thank you, Moderate Extremist. Yeah. Thank you, Frenda. Thank you, Psyched for Life. I appreciate that. You know, when I spoke to Lori, she was like, I want to tell my story, but I am scared. I am scared of getting hate. And she said she knows that she, went hard for Katie, and she fought a lot with people, and she knew what she said about me. She knew the things that she said about me. And she literally was like, I am so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry that I done that. So, I mean, heck, I forgave Katie like 4 times, you guys. It's kind of who I am. I'm always willing to give somebody another chance. And if I can do it, I'm not saying everybody should, but, out of everybody, I was one of the people that I think Lorianne probably went really hard for. So I'm willing to bring her on, let her tell her side of the story. Yes, I will. Actually, we did talk a little bit about that, about the declaration. She did explain a little bit about how one side of the declarations went and how the other side of the declarations went. So that will be something that we talk about. She's going to explain what went down with both declarations. Now, I told Lori this, and I'm going to tell you guys this. All I can do is give her a platform to say what she's got to say. I cannot tell you. I don't know everything that she's going to say. This is going to be an interview where I bring her on. She tells what she's got to say, and I ask her questions about what's going on. Who's blocked, Joan C? So why am I blocked? I spoke up against wrong things and got what for doing the right thing? What do you mean, Joan? Who's blocked? I don't have you blocked. I can see your comment. I'm going to look at it like this. I've said this before that, when you bring people on to interview them, you're not saying you support everything that they've done or everything they will do or everything they're saying. I'm just giving her the opportunity to speak up, and I am going to ask her questions. Lorianne's declaration, that was a big thing. I remember when it came out. I don't know why you're blocked either. You shouldn't be blocked. I don't know. I remember you used to come in my chat all the time. Are you blocked under that name, Matt? Because you should not be. Oh, Frenda, I thank you. That makes me feel good. But like I was saying, when Lorianne's declaration come out for Tati's side, everybody was talking about it. Everybody. Emily went live on it. I watched Emily's live, and then I went live to talk about it because nobody could believe that the person that was KJ's #1 follower all of a sudden flipped and was doing a declaration for the opposite side and saying all the things that she said. So I think it will be interesting to hear her part. No, about Amber's lady message. Are you talking about Amber Portwood? I haven't watched Teen Mom tonight. I'm a little behind, but here. So that's who's going to be the surprise guest. It's going to be Lori. And let me tell you guys, this, like I said, I've just been waiting for Salts to refile. I hope that he does. I believe that he will. I've seen him like comments on Twitter where people talk about him refiling. He will like those things. So I'm hoping that's given us a little bit of clue that he will. Katie, obviously, because that case has been dismissed, you guys see how she is with the Duggars right now. She is literally like going so hard for the Duggars right now. The whole book and the way she's turning it into something nasty because that lawsuit got dismissed. She thinks that she's won. She thinks that she can do whatever she wants because the people that she really has defamed, in my opinion, it got nowhere, and really it's just because of jurisdiction. I think if they refile where she lives, I think they will absolutely win. I don't see how they could lose because I think she defamed them. I don't know. Well, honestly, I probably do know if they do refile where Katie lives, Lori probably won't even be a part of that because the only reason Lori came into play is because of jurisdiction. Yes, Katie thinks she's untouchable. And if they don't refile, Katie will continue attacking people, degrading people, treating human beings like they are trash, like they are some type of disease. The way Katie talked about that Collins girl and the way when that Collins girl sent her a gift, Katie suited up like the Collins girl had some sort of disease that Katie was going to catch. And then Katie tried to say, oh, it was satire. No, it wasn't. Did you contact that lady and say, hey, look, I'm going to make a little comical video, about the gift that you gave me. Don't take offense to it. Heck no, she didn't. So can you imagine that lady that sent her the gift, seeing that video and how it must have made her feel? She was probably embarrassed. Her feelings were hurt. And that's something I don't think you should do. That's not satire. That's not comical when you hurt people's feelings, especially someone that's doing something nice for you. Like that lady, first off, you're on, your YouTube talking crap about the lady. You're posting on IG Live, IG talking crap about the lady. So the lady tells her people like, hey, go report that. Like, get that down. Like, that shouldn't be happening. And then when you're complaining that she had you report it, which is what you do to everybody, you're probably watching this right now and you probably already reported it. You report people. But then when somebody reports you, you go on your channel and you cry like a little baby. She told people to report me. So then the girl feels bad and she messages you. And she's like, I'm sorry, I did. I feel bad. I shouldn't have reported you. I'm sorry. I have this store. Please go pick out something for free on me. And what does Katie do? Rather than saying, you know what? We all make mistakes. We're humans. You told people to report me because I posted something that hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. No. She goes on her YouTube channel and she's like, oh, the Fundy messaged me. The Fundy messaged me. The Fundy, like, why? Why would you do that? Like, who cares? Like, if they're fundies, like if you don't agree with the way that they're living, talk about that. But there should never be a line that you cross into just really trying to hurt people. And Katie does that. Katie really tries to hurt people. And it's disgusting. Like anybody that just talks about who Katie is and what she stands for, Katie acts like they are just the most god-awfulest person in the world. But she is literally on her live talking about human beings that have done nothing to her like they're trash. She attacks every Christian that she comes in contact with. And then yes, exactly. She attacks Christians. She attacks anybody that has different beliefs than her. It's just disgusting, and she does not deserve a platform. And I am willing to bring anybody on my channel that wants to talk about their experience with her and how they were betrayed by her, because I think she feels unstoppable. She does. And if they do not refile, Katie could be on YouTube for another who knows how long.
You know what trips me out? I feel like if somebody was to say something about, I don't know, about Islam or Buddhist people and publicly, right? I feel like Katie would like jump on the opportunity to totally bash somebody as a bigot.
Oh, absolutely.
As a bigot, right? if somebody said something about the religion of Islam, or how Muslims live, or how Buddhists live, if somebody was to constantly attack, let's take like your YouTube channel. If you used your channel to like talk about other religions besides Christianity, she would be on her stream talking about how vile you are and how you're a bigot. But
1,000%.
That's all she does about Christian. Like, she talks about these Christians. Let's get real. I mean, these are diehard Christians that live by the book. Like to a T.
To a T. To the extreme. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe they're not correct. But
maybe they are. Who knows?
Maybe they are. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe we're the wrong ones.
Who's to say that everybody else ain't wrong? I mean, the Bible states a lot of stuff specifically, and they try to live by the Bible. Like, why can't these people live and practice their religion how they want? Just because it's a TV show doesn't mean it's fair game to talk about religion.
I mean, you could talk about the way they live. I mean, if Katie wanted to, I cover the Duggars, and I will get on my channel and I will talk about something that Jim Bob's done. And I'll be like, that's a little weird, but I'm not bashing them. There's no reason to bash them.
Bash Christianity and like put it down and degrade, which what she did to that woman was degrading.
Sean actually Sean watched it and he sent it to me in a text and he's like, you have to watch that. He was like, this video of Katie is disgusting.
That was the worst thing.
He was like, you have to watch
that. I mean, there's been a lot that's pretty bad, but that one thing, like the way and then she tried to act like the woman wanted a
promo,
like a promo. Like who? That woman probably did not think that Katie was going to open it on a live. That was Katie's decision.
That was Katie's. Katie
that
even
woman sent that to her in private.
Yep.
As a gift, and Katie tries to act like the woman's wanting a promotion. No, the woman was trying to be a good Christian. The Bible says, if someone slaps you in the cheek, turn the other cheek.
Yeah. And that's what the lady was doing. She was like,
yeah, and. What's so wrong with that? If everybody lived by that code, the world would be a lot better place. If everybody acted like that, and when somebody did them wrong or they did somebody wrong, they extended like an olive branch and sent them a gift to smooth things over. If everybody treated loved their enemy, like the Bible says, and like other religions teach too, it's not, I'm a Christian, but other religions teach the same thing. Some of the extremists take some of the, different words from different religions a little too far. Mm-hmm. But those are the extremists. These Duggars are not crusaders riding out to, the Middle East killing Muslims in the name of Christianity. They're just living a good Christian life to a T.
Some of the things are a little weird, but they're not killing anybody. They're not hurting anybody. They're raising their kids to be virgins until marriage. What's wrong with that? Side hugs. Okay. What's wrong with that? I would love if I, fingers crossed, you know what I'm saying? But the way she picks on them about the wedding night and how okay, the whole book thing really just ticked me off. I was actually going to do a reaction video to it, but a lot of other people did, and then I didn't have time. But the whole book thing really just made me mad. She's like, can you imagine Jim Bob sitting his daughters down and talking to his daughters about, so when you do X, Y, Z, and then you got to, and I was like, he's not doing that. What in the hell makes her think he's doing that? That's the point of the book. Yes. And they go to marriage counseling, they go to a counseling before marriage, but they do get, but before that, they're not taught anything. So this book does help. While some of the things in the book was a little, questionable about why would you need that? Not everything in this book was about sex. A lot of it was just about, I was talking to Sean about it, and I was like, I wish somebody would have told me, hey, on your honeymoon, take XYZ. Because I was like, what if I would have got constipated on our honeymoon? I would not have wanted to tell you while we were off in the big city, hey, we got to run to the store. I need an enema, I'm constipated. So some of these things are just so they have it there with them, so they don't have to go off and get it when they're trying to enjoy their honeymoon, you know?
Yeah, like, what if you go to like a remote place or like you're in Hawaii and you don't have a car? So, and then you get constipated. Like, that's the thing. Like, it said bring medicine for constipation or whatever. Like, you get, and it sounds crazy at first, but like I told Net, I spent my honeymoon night
sick,
like on hugging a toilet. I didn't even sleep in the bed because we ate just at a quick Chinese buffet, and I got food poisoning on our honeymoon night. And like, if I told Nene, I was like, what? I understand where they're coming from. Like, yeah, 1 out of 1,000 people. It might only apply to 1 out of 1,000 people, but this book is for a wide audience, and it's saying have whatever you need so you don't get in a bind. If I was to write a book, I would say do not eat at a Chinese buffet on the way, on your honeymoon, because it's possible you might get food poisoning and you might be hugged up. Most people would be like, why not? Why
not eat Chinese?
Yeah, why not? But my advice would be don't. I mean, because I literally spent my honeymoon night hugging the toilet on the floor of the bathroom. So the way she attacked that book and tried to like portray it to be like some twisted sexual crazy thing,
it wasn't.
It wasn't at all. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was all pretty good advice, honestly. Like, yeah, it's like, why would you need constipation medicine? But like I said, this dude's writing out to you have one honeymoon. Like, what if you do get constipated? You got the medicine. How heavy is constipation medicine? Is it going to weigh you down at the airport? I mean, it's better to have it and not need it than need it, not have it, right?
Right. Exactly. He is cool, GTA. So anyways, I have a few people asking about this book. What's the book? Did the Duggars write a book? No, the Duggars didn't write a book. But, okay, so there is this book that was written by someone else that has nothing to do with the Duggars, from what I understand. And it's basically just tells you, like, how to prepare for your honeymoon. All the way from, like, bring extra towels with you. Bring constipation medicine.
Put a towel in the bed.
Put a towel in the bed. Yeah. Bring... 3 pair of panties per day. It literally tells you so many things to bring. Bring antibacterial soap.
Yeah, bring all kind of stuff.
Bring Neosporin. Like, it's literally so many things to bring. And some of it is sexual stuff. Like, okay, so when you prepare, your girls are going to want to do this to prepare. Boys are going to want to do this to prepare. And this is how you work up to the magical moment, but Katie went on a stream laughing about it, making everything sexual, like down to
the constipation
medicine. What? I didn't know sex makes you constipated. Are you an idiot? What? And another thing that she said, because they talked about UTIs.
Oh yeah.
Because in the book it said go tinkle before and after so you don't get a UTI, right? And she's like, oh my God, do they not know the female anatomy? You cannot get a UTI from sex. But you can. I've known that. I don't even know how long I've known that for. And when I heard her say that, the way she was just dogging the people that wrote the book and the Duggars that they believed it. She's like, oh my God, you cannot get a UTI. Do they not know the female anatomy? And then everybody in the chat's like, yeah, you can. There was like nurses in the chat. There was like, I'm a nurse and you definitely can get a UTI. And she's like, okay, I get it. You can. Move on. Shut up. Everybody shut up. Oh my God, you guys, are you still talking about the UTI? And then she leaves. Like, she goes off the chat because she's so mad that people were treating her the way she treats the Duggars, right? Like, really, Katie? You really didn't know that? Really? Like, that's the way you're treating the Duggars.
Exactly.
And now when someone's treating you that way and they're like, yeah, you can. Are you serious? Do you not know the female anatomy? She flipped out, got off the live stream because she was so mad. She later come back on and was like, I'm coming back on because this book is really important and it really just gives you insight into how, like, just disgusting Jim Bob Duggar is, that he gives his daughters and his sons this book, the night before their wedding. Like, it's so disgusting. It wasn't disgusting. Like, some of the things were a little awkward, but I think it's a good book. Hell, I might find it and give it to my kids before they get married. I don't know.
Let me tell you what was awkward. The first time I had sex, that was awkward because I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a book. I didn't have a clue. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's probably the same thing for a lot of people. So these people are probably going into it more prepared than I was because they have this book. Yeah, it was awkward. There were some awkward things. The whole subject's awkward. Talking to your kids about it's awkward.
It's awkward.
So I don't know. I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. And then somebody said that vacation always leads to stomach problems. There's a such thing as, I don't remember what it's called, but it's
diarrhea,
gut or something.
I
don't know. But long trips and stuff, flying, your stomach is all out of whack.
Yeah. So I'm going to so that's one thing, the whole book thing. It infuriates me to see Katie treat people this way. Let me tell you guys, I was on the phone with my sister-in-law the other day and we were talking, and I was like, I said something about how I talk to everybody. I'm like, I go into Walmart, and if I'm at the checkout aisle that someone's checking me out, I make conversation with them because I just talk to everybody. And my sister-in-law said, girl, even if you're in the self-checkout, you end up talking to one of the workers at Walmart. And I was like, that is so true, because one time my sister-in-law was with me and I was in the self-checkout, but I was right beside the part that the Walmart worker actually stands at, watching everybody. And me and her start, I look over and I'm talking to her, so how's your day going? The whole time I'm checking out, I'm talking to the lady. So my sister-in-law was like, girl, you talk to everybody. And I do. I don't like to see people's feelings hurt. I don't like to see people cry. If somebody cries on TV, I usually cry. And TT said every time I talk to Elle Bee, she's at Walmart. True story. Willow talks to everyone too. So, it's just the type of person that I am. And, this is my job too. I do these YouTube videos where I talk about, the Teen Mom girls. I talk about the Sister Wives family. I talk about the Duggars. And there's sometimes that I get a little, when it comes to Amber, I went off on Amber the other day, but I'm still not going to just attack her. Especially wouldn't attack her because she had different religious beliefs than me. I wouldn't attack her at all. I will say she's screwing up with these IG lives, and how she's attacking Gary and Christina, and it's only going to hurt her in the end. But the way she's just attacking people, it infuriates me, and I cannot for the life of me understand how YouTube has allowed her to stay on this platform and make all this money. Backwoods Barbie said, the YouTubers that are really working their butt off and they're not taking these low blows and doing these clickbait videos, I feel like we're the ones that have such a hard time succeeding. But people like Katie, it just comes so easily for them. And honestly though, really, I feel like I am pretty successful on YouTube, but I do feel like she's over there, getting hundreds of thousands of views a day, making, all kinds of money, 140,000 subs, and twisting things, lying on people, and her viewers will believe it. Her viewers literally believe the things that she's saying. So that's another thing that really makes me mad. That's one of the reasons I knew I could not ever be friends with Katie, was because I knew that she was lying to her followers, and we shared a lot of the same followers. So it literally made me so mad. She was bashing religions again and through I didn't see that. I don't watch Katie. The only time I see her is if someone screen records her and they put it up on Twitter, or they make a video of it. Then I'll see it and I'll watch it. But,
I think another big difference with her is just the attitude that she has when she says stuff and the way she comes across. It's not just talking about, I don't know much about the Duggars, but it's not just talking about the Duggars. Hey, they do this, that's a little weird, whatever. Here's a book that they give to their kids. This book's kind of crazy, but I'm so much better than these people.
I know so much more.
Such low lives. Just the attitude,
Me too.
cockiness and the arrogance that she has when she talks about people in the way that other people are. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, who's a better person? Katie or these Duggar people? Because if I was going to be locked in a room for the rest of my life with somebody, I would pick any of the Duggars over Katie. You know, like,
Exactly.
I don't know, I just
Aussie Chick, $7.99. The book was obviously made to be a guide for those who hadn't had any sexual experience, what to prepare for and expect nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you know what really it upsets me even more, and it literally hurts my heart. I'm not lying. It hurts my heart when I see Katie on these lives picking at people, and then I see the people in her lives like just laughing about it as well. And I'm like,
and not taking a stand.
Which you do see people take stands. Honestly, you do.
definitely
But then
do.
there's people that don't, and they're just like rolling with it, and they're laughing too. And I'm like, man, I wish they would realize what they're being a part of right now. This is not just a once in a blue moon type thing where we all make mistakes and we may join in with a friend, you know, talking about something or talking about somebody when maybe we shouldn't. But this is something that she does all the time, to the point where these people know who she are. Like, they know who she is. Like, the Duggars know who Katie is. Someone actually just said that they were sending her a cease and desist, and I hope they do. One thing we know is Katie don't take them serious, so they may actually have to sue her. Baby, why is my feet cold?
Oh, your feet are always cold.
No, it's like windy in here.
All right, I'll turn it off.
Okay, so I put out my part 3 to my series earlier today. It literally took like 3 hours for it to upload, but we're going to watch that. I'm going to play it. I'm going to screen share. And as soon as I put it up, it got limited ads, of course. Normally what I do when I put a video up and it gets limited ads, I put in a review for it. I wait till it gets fixed because I do work really hard for my content. Really hard. So I like to be paid for it, clearly. So normally I'll wait for that review to come in and then I'll go change it to public so everybody can watch it and I'll actually make the money I should be making off of it. But of course, this tonight, when it went up limited ads, and the review won't be done until tomorrow morning, probably. We're going to watch it tonight. If you guys get bored tomorrow and you want to go watch it yourselves and give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to pull that video up and we can get started watching.
Yeah, y'all try to like hit the like button and everything.
Yeah, that really helps.
Because I'll tell y'all, like, before she started YouTube, she worked her butt off. Now that she's been doing YouTube, especially in this last month, she is working her butt off.
I really am.
From the time she gets up to get the kids ready for school, and I try to help out, you know, but I'm up late. So she gets the kids up for school because I stay up late to do schoolwork because that's the only time I can get it done. But, you know, all throughout the day, she's working on YouTube, recording, editing, getting ready, taking care of Kenny, you know, helping me take care of Kenny, taking kids to the doctor, everything that comes in. And she's just one of the hardest working people that I've ever seen.
Thank you, babe.
So
thank you to everybody that
try to
that
at least
does.
hit the like button for her, please.
I know a lot of you will tell me like, hey, I watch all your videos. I'll go back and rewatch them. I always give you a thumbs up. So I appreciate that. I really do, you guys, because from the time my channel was struck back in Thanksgiving, I've still not got back to the money that I was making.
Or the momentum.
Or the momentum, right.
Like, your momentum was just...
I was growing like...
It was out of this world. Like,
yeah, so quick. I was making like close to $3,000 a month. And it was great, you know. And I was like, in a few months, we're going to be here. And it's going to be awesome. And then my channel gets shot down. And I've been having to build my way back up, like, you know, from making almost $3,000 a month to $600, $900, which I'm thankful for that.
Yeah,
either way, like, I'm thankful for whatever I get.
You know, it's crazy when you look back at that though. You know, for people that believe in God, here's a kind of like a funny little thing, and this has always happened in our life. I don't know how. Like, since me and her been married, we've always been carried through.
Always,
and like, I got laid off, and her YouTube channel grows like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She makes $3,000 in like 1 month from YouTube, which
Which was
blew our
great, yeah.
minds.
We were like,
and I'm
holy
laid
crap.
off at the time, right? Well, then when her channel gets shut down, I found a job and went back to work. So like the months that I was laid off that we didn't really have any income, you know, her channel managed to bring in the income that we needed to stay afloat. And then when her channel got shut down, I had found a job and I was back working. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, I could tell you story after story about that, but you know, I was just throwing that out there.
And Brooke said, research IBLP. You are not informed. And I may not be. You know, I may not be informed about what the religion is about. But what I do know is I watched the show, and the things that Katie has put out about the Duggars, she's never had actual information to back that up. She said that Jim Bob like rapes the girls and that he's was going to be arrested for child porn. She's never brought any proof of that. He was never arrested. So I'm only saying they're still human beings unless I get some solid proof to show what he's doing. You know, if I get proof that he's a pedophile, if I see a video of him with his daughter or a 12-year-old, then I'll speak out about that. I have 6 kids. I would be the first one to speak out about a pedophile or something, you know. So I'm just saying, I don't see any reason why and it's not like she educates. She's not going on a live educating the people about what that's about. She drags them down over anything. And that's what I don't agree with. So, okay, so I'm going to try to pull this video up to where we can watch it together. And like I said, if you guys are bored tomorrow and you just want to watch, it is kind of long. It's like 30 minutes. Yeah. Eli's on the stream. Tell Eli he needs to go to bed. Eli, you ready to go to bed? Okay, so go ahead and tell him to go to bed because okay. What time is it? Yes, like 10 o'clock. Okay, so we're gonna play the part 3, and it's like 30 minutes long, but we're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch it together, okay? I didn't hear that. Let's see. I love you, Eli, but you gotta go night-night. Duty butt. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how to do this. Okay, I gotta put mine. Okay. So I gotta unplug this so you guys can hear it. Let me know when you guys can hear it. Let me remove that so you guys can see it a little bit better. And any questions that you have as we're watching the video, you guys can just I love you, Eli, but go to bed, my baby. You guys can put them in the comment section as we're watching this video, okay?
Please do not send hate to anyone mentioned in this video. This is just my experience with Katie Joy. Please look into more videos about her to form your own opinion. I would hate to live in a society where you cannot acknowledge that
you have a feeling about how someone else treated someone else.
I would hate more to live in a world where there was no freedom of speech. I would hate to live in a world
and on YouTube
where we didn't have the ability to say how we felt about things, or we didn't have the opportunity to share our feelings about things or our opinions about things. I agree with you, Katie. And I'm glad that you said that, because now I know that I shouldn't receive any backlash from you over this video. After all, you just said that you think that we should be able to live in a world where we can talk about how someone has treated us.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just to put it out there, this video is part 3 to my series. It kind of details what happened between me and Katie. If you're not interested, if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand. Just go ahead and click off. I will have my reality TV news and gossip videos coming up soon. I just posted one, as a matter of fact. So don't worry if you're not interested. I get it. This video is going to be my part 3. I have 2 videos out there already kind of detailing what happened from the first moment me and Katie really crossed paths to where she mentioned me in a very negative way and attacked me. And my response to that, I will link those videos in the description box below in case you have not watched those. It makes sense if you see those first, because Katie likes to say, she likes to tell her followers that from the beginning, she just tried to be nice to me. From the beginning, she just wanted to see me do well.
All I did from the beginning was try to help her. I might be more kind than she deserves.
And I just want to say one thing is that I wanted so badly to help her channel, and I wanted to help her grow.
This is a story she has told her followers, which leads her followers to wonder, why am I constantly talking about Katie? Like, why do you have a problem with Katie? Katie's telling us that from the beginning, all she wanted to do was to help you. And I think if you've watched part 1 and 2, you see now that's not the case. Me and Katie did not start off as friends. We didn't even start off as just two different people in the same community that crossed paths and I had a problem with, or she had a problem with. We literally crossed paths because she supposedly did not like a video, so she drug my name through the mud. She called me all kind of names, said that I mocked, Colin. So that's where it really started. It didn't start with her trying to be friends with me and her trying to be supportive of me, and I just wouldn't take it. That's not where it started. Now that we have that covered, anyone can say, if they ever hear Katie say that again, you can actually say, well, that's not the truth. Okay. So after all that happened, after Katie went on that rant where she really drug my name through the mud, after my response video, after the emails back and forth, I accepted an apology that probably 90% of the people that saw the apology, that witnessed the apology, said that it was a insincere apology. I even myself thought that it was pretty insincere, but I did accept it. And I was honest with that. I was like, it's not really an apology. I don't really feel like she's sincere, but I'll accept that. That's fine. Because I just wanted to get back to doing my content and being happy and having a good time on my channel without worrying about another creator coming for me. So I accepted it and I was just wanting to move on. At that point, we did share a lot of the same subscribers. So a lot of people would be like, I'm so happy that you and Katie are getting along now. I'm so happy that you and Katie are friends now. And Katie really started pushing that narrative like, oh yeah, I love Lazy now. We're cool. We're friends. So I was like, well, why not? She made a mistake, but maybe we can be friends. I didn't really see what could go wrong with that. It's like if you start a new job, you want to make friends in the new job, right? So I thought, oh, that would be cool if we could be friends. So we kind of started talking a little bit. We exchanged numbers. We would text back and forth. And then I started seeing things with Katie that I just couldn't stand for. And it was really hard for me because I already had a lot of people that would come on my channel and say, oh, I'm so happy that you and Katie are getting along. You guys are my favorite YouTubers. And then I would see the same thing on her channel. If I watched, I would see it. If I was in the chat, I would see it. But then these things were happening behind the scenes where I was just like, I don't like this. Like I would know of her lying to her audience, and it was a problem for me. So I cannot remember everything exactly the way that it happened. I'm going to give you guys just a few examples of things that was going on back then. Also, I want to let you guys know during that time, I had people just contacting me saying like, this is what we know about Katie. It was during that time that I had someone contact me about a Facebook group that Katie used to be a part of years ago that was a support group. I'm going to show you guys just a few examples of things that was going on back then that really made me uneasy with Katie, and then I'll get into the Facebook group situation.
Okay, so one of the first things that I heard about concerning Katie was her merchandise. God has the worst following. Now, I'm a Christian, but even if I was not a Christian, just being a content creator, I would not want Christians to feel excluded. I would not want them to feel like I was picking on them by saying God has the worst following. So that was something that did not sit well with me. Also, her dog chewed up her Bible, which things happen. I get that. But she posted it on her IG account laughing about it. So once again, as a Christian, I kind of felt targeted. So Katie and her husband was accused of being involved in like witchcraft allegedly by her neighbors. These pictures come out. That was the accusations. And obviously it made me feel uneasy. I am a Christian. Katie explained it by saying that this was pictures taken for her husband's CD album. I've yet to see a CD come out with these pictures. Now, this is Katie badgering another content creator over who pays his medical insurance. She asked him repeatedly on Twitter about his medical and who pays his medical insurance and how does he receive medical disability, which clearly none of that was her business. Later on, when someone asked her about her son's medical or his benefits, she said, it's none of your business. It's none of your concern, which I agree with her. But why was it her concern over the other creator's medical benefits? It wasn't. Okay, so this one here is very important for me because I have a son that is autistic. If you've watched Katie for a while, you've probably heard her talk about the fact that her son is autistic. Well, back in 2017, she wrote this article about how her son was misdiagnosed. This article was brought back up about a year or so ago, and she went on a live stream and she explained it to her audience by saying, yes, my son was misdiagnosed. What he has is this. And I think she said hydrocephalus, which is what my nephew had. And she said hydrocephalus and autism, they have like the same symptoms. They mimic each other. So had the doctor dropped the autism, he would have had to be reevaluated to just get the same medication and therapy that he was already on. So the doctor didn't want to have to go through all the steps of dropping that diagnosis to have him reevaluated just to get the same medication and therapy that he already had. So while he was not autistic, he kept that diagnosis. What really bothers me is still to this day, Katie says her son is autistic, which he's not.
Okay, so there are just conversations between me and Katie where she would say things, or, you know, times I would catch her lying and I didn't really support it. And then I started finding out these things about this Facebook group. So I found out that Katie was a part of a Facebook support group. And what it was is it was for mothers that had children that were medically fragile, I guess you could say. I literally never heard that word until Katie. Like, I've never heard anybody refer to their child as medically fragile until Katie. But in a sense, that's kind of what it was. The group started out as a group of pregnant women, and eventually they all had their babies, and, you know, several of their babies had some issues. So that group Katie was a part of, and there was two people that was in that group with Katie that ended up speaking out, and I heard about it. Now, Katie ended up leaving that group because she had a lot of problems with that group. There were allegations that Katie called someone's child ugly. I want to say those text messages did come out at some point in time. That was an accusation. I want to be clear. These were accusations, and I believed a lot of them because of the things that I was already seeing. Like, I was seeing Katie lie to her audience. I was being told one thing and the audience was being told another thing. Katie was, you know, treating me in a way that made me very uncomfortable. So these things just made sense. There were people from the group that said that if one of their children got sick, the next day Katie's son was sick. And it was always like a one-up. Like, oh, your child's sick? Well, tomorrow my child is sicker. You know, so a lot of those things, I just believed it, you guys. There was a situation where two of the women spoke out, and they both said that they assumed or they thought it was their belief that Katie may have Munchausen by proxy. Now, this has been a whole situation, this Munchausen by proxy. Because on a live stream, I did talk about that. When I finally sat down with my audience, with my viewers, and I was like, you guys, I just have to say, like, I can't support Katie anymore. I'm not friends with her, and I have to break away from her. Like, I know you guys, a lot of you guys like me and her. I get it. Like, but I just can't support her. And I mentioned the Facebook group, and I mentioned the women that had spoken out. One woman's story was that she knew Katie. She was in this group with Katie, and the reason they quit being friends was because Katie spoke to her about the fact that Katie's child needed a wheelchair. And the woman said, you know, she was offended by that because her child had a wheelchair, and she did not think that Katie's child needed a wheelchair. So she drew the conclusion that she thought Katie had Munchausen by proxy. There was also another lady, there was these two ladies. They both had this assumption or this theory that Katie had Munchausen by proxy. So when I really just got my feel of feeling like Katie was kind of trying to control my channel, I would go live, and before I could even get off the live, I would get a text message like this. Okay, so Katie done a live stream where she said that David had a Tinder account. This was when David and Janelle were split up. Someone actually reached out to David on Facebook. David denied having a Tinder account. That person sent me the messages, and I went live and was like, hey, David's denying having a Tinder account. I was not saying that Katie was lying. I was just saying that David was denying that. She sent me these messages telling me not to shade her, which I wasn't. I was just continuing to report on stuff that was already out there. Okay, so these messages, I actually didn't do a audio for it because I talk about it a little bit later on, but these messages here are concerning Amber Portwood. And I'd done a video where we talked about the audio and stuff, and people were asking like if Katie could get in trouble. Do you think Amber could sue her? And I was like, I don't think so, but it's Amber, who knows? And by the time I got off the live, Katie messaged me and was like, don't start that rumor. Amber's not going to sue me. And I was like, rumor? Nobody's starting that rumor. What are you talking about? So if you guys want to watch this on a playback tomorrow and like pause this and you can read each message, that's basically what it is. She's like, don't put those rumors out there that Amber's suing me. And I was like, I'm not. We were just on the stream and people asked if I thought it was a possibility. And if you guys see that one, she says, oh my God, people are mad at you. And at this point, I was just so over her. I was like, that's okay. It happens. Comes with the territory. Even though I was like, why would people be mad at me? And she said that people was saying that I painted her in a bad light and that I was being too hard on Andrew, which I wasn't. And then she tweeted this. And then she talked about how there were rumors going around that Amber was going to sue her,
where she was accusing me of starting rumors when that was not the case. Like I was literally on a live. It was during the Amber situation, and someone said, do you think Amber will sue Katie? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't know why she would. I mean, you know, considering that it's Amber, who knows? I don't know how she would win a lawsuit against Katie. I don't know why she would, but who knows? It's Amber. Before I get off the stream, Katie was messaging me, telling me not to start rumors. She even said that the fans were mad at me. She literally messaged me telling me, do not start rumors that Amber's suing me. Amber is not suing me. And you made a lot of people mad by saying that.
Then she tweeted this.
And I was just, we were supposed to be friends. So I was like, what are you talking about? Like, did you watch the video? Were you watching me? Because if you was actually watching, then you will see that I just answered a question. Like, I never started that. I was just answering a question, you know? So those are a lot of the reasons why I just had to separate myself. I could not take being scared of talking about something on my stream, because before I knew it, Katie was messaging me, you know, telling me that the followers were mad at me, you know, that I made a mistake, that I did something wrong, that what I put out in my video was wrong, or what I said in my live stream was wrong. It really kind of sucked the fun out of me having my channel and having the ability to be free with how I wanted to speak to my audience or what I wanted to speak to my audience about. It really took that from me. So one night on a live stream, that's really where I really started talking to my audience. And I was like, look, I know a lot of you guys love to see these two women supporting each other, but there's just so many things that Katie stands for that I just can't be okay with. I'm not okay with. It's not even that I wished ill of Katie. I just could not support her. And I knew I wasn't going to get away with I don't support her and that's it. We're not friends, you guys. Let's move on. I knew everybody would want to know why, what happened. So I had to give my reasonings. I had to be like, look, these are the reasonings why. This is what I know, and these are the reasons why I can't support her. And, you know, looking back, maybe I shouldn't have went public with it. Maybe I should have just, when people brought up the fact that me and Katie were friends and they were happy that we were friends, maybe I should have just kind of ignored it. I should have, you know. Looking back, like I said, I made some mistakes. There are absolutely things I wish I could take back and redo over. But the first comment that ever come out about Munchausen by proxy, it was not me saying that I thought that Katie had it. It was just me saying these two women that was in this group with Katie, that Katie ended up having to leave the group because she managed to make everybody in the Facebook group mad at her. She ended up having to leave. So it was just me saying, there's this group that exists. These two women think that she has this. There was a lot of issues. And this is some of the reasoning why. After that stream that night, Katie really went off. She told her followers that I was spreading a rumor that she had Munchausen by proxy. She started telling her followers that I attacked her son, which I would absolutely positively never do. She had actually told her mods that I mocked her son for being autistic. She actually said that. I had two of her mods say, Katie told us that you attacked her son for being autistic. And I was like, my son is autistic. That makes no sense. So I was finding out all these things that Katie had said about me and lies that she had told about me. So it really just did not sit well with me. And that's where we went from getting along to not getting along again. And it did kind of start with me pulling away and publicly having to say, I can't be friends with her, you guys. I'm not friends with her, you guys. And these are the reasonings why. So that's just some of the things that were going on. Later on, we ended up making amends again. I'm a very forgiving person, you guys. I'm a Christian. It's just who I am. But it never failed. Like there would always be like this period where like I would somehow talk to Katie and I would fall for it. Like, okay, yeah, she's a good person. She's got a heart and, blah, 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 blah. And we would make amends and I would try to be her friend again. And it never failed. Within 2 weeks, I was regretting it. I was, aggravated to see her telling her audience one thing when I knew behind the scenes something was completely different. What really, really blew me away was the Amber Portwood audio. Now, obviously, when that whole situation happened, I reached out to Andrew Glennon and I spoke to him. We messaged back and forth. And I mentioned that on a live stream one night. When I was talking about it, two of Katie's mods were in my chat. Not long after I mentioned it, like, hey, I reached out to Andrew Glennon on IG and he actually responded, we may do something coming up. Like, he wants his voice. Her two mods bounced. And it was like 2 days later that Katie was saying that she was talking to Andrew. I started trying to reach out to him again, and he would not respond to me. A couple days later, I had a lady message me and tell me that she had spoken to Andrew Glennon and that Andrew had told her that Katie told him not to trust me or another creator named Yasmin Woodland. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because he just quit talking to me. At this point, me and Katie had made amends again, and we were supposed to be friends again. So here we are, made amends again, friends again, and she's telling someone not to speak to me. Rather than making a big deal about it, I kind of kept it hush-hush. I really didn't say a lot about it. I just kind of went with the flow of things. Katie got all the audio, and that's just what it was. And Katie likes to say, oh, that audio didn't make me money. That is a flat out lie. I'm going to show you guys screenshots of her social blade. Before that audio was released, Katie, on a good day, would make like $160, $180 a day or something. But when that audio dropped on September 12th, she went from making, $160, $180 a day to a couple hundred, a few hundred. She skyrocketed overnight with that audio. When she started doing the live streams, I'm going to show you guys some screenshots. Before this live stream, a friend of mine, we had a mutual friend in common. I'm sure you guys could figure out who it was. The mutual friend that we have in common called me the night before this live stream and says, you're not going to believe what Katie's doing. And I was like, what? And he said, she is shopping the audio around. Now, mind you, Katie did not just have that one audio and video. Katie has like 11 or 15, I don't know, it's like several audios. And I don't even know if we've heard them all to date. I don't think that we have. But Katie had a lot of audio and video. And from what my understanding is and what I was told, Katie had contacted our mutual friend and asked him, do you have any contacts to TMZ? Because I want to see if they will buy this audio and this video. And
Okay, I'm gonna stop it really quick because I actually thought about stopping it a couple of times to talk about different things. But one of the reasons I want to talk about this because I got this text message later on. So I was just told as things were happening, I got a call and it was like Katie shopping the audio around, and I was like, what? And I was told, so she's talked to Splash, and Splash offered her like $600 to $700 for the video and the audio of the night that this happened, right? With the Amber stuff. And I was like, oh my God, no way. And he was like, yeah, but Katie said, like, why go through Splash when they're just going to turn around and give it to a bigger outlet like TMZ? So why don't, I just want to try to go to TMZ instead of going through like a third party. As you see here are the Daily Mail. And I'm like, why use a third party? I don't know if the leaker wants the audio sold or not. So I'll have to ask. But why would she even be discussing? Why would she even be texting this person about potentially selling it? And, why go through a third party if she's not talked about, not talked to the person that's giving it to her to begin with? Like that should be a conversation she should have had with whoever gave that to her to begin with before reaching out to this person. And as far as I know, Katie never asked Andrew, could she sell it or could she give it away? But Andrew did say that he wanted it out there. Andrew did say that he wanted this blasted to everyone. So if other outlets picked it up, like that was fine. So I'm sure Katie giving it to TMZ was fine with him, but Katie selling it would not have been fine. And from what I understand, she never did ask Andrew if she could sell it, but she did try to. And Devin is the contact that our mutual friend had from TMZ. Devin worked with TMZ. So if you guys see, our friend says you can contact Devin.
She had already reached out to a company called Splash, I think it was, and that they only offered to give her like $600 to $700. And she told our mutual friend that it was worth way more than that and that she was not going to sell it for just $600 to $700. The mutual friend that we have told her that while this is a big story in our world, Amber Portwood is not an A-list celebrity, and TMZ probably couldn't buy it anyways. She got some contact information from our mutual friend, and she reached out to TMZ. TMZ told her that they could not legally purchase that because it did not belong to her. If Katie actually owned the audio and the video, like she claimed to later on, then they could buy it. But because she does not own it or did not own it, they couldn't legally buy it. Really, whoever purchased those cameras that were in the house that captured that, they own the copyright to it. So if they did tell Katie, from my understanding, they did tell Katie, if you want to give this to us, we can use it, but we can't legally buy it. Katie went back to our mutual friend saying that was ridiculous and that this is a big story and that they should be willing to pay big money for this. So this was the night before. The next day, she goes on a live stream, playing more audio. And in the comment section, she's talking about how she saved her integrity, but she lost out on money because of this, and that she didn't feel right profiting off of a domestic violence situation. She even said that TMZ had reached out to her. Now, I'm watching this. I'm at home watching this. Already, understanding that Katie had told Andrew Glennon not to trust me and Yasmin Whitland. Finding out the night before that she was shopping this around. I'm watching her live stream and I'm seeing her in the comment section saying these things, and I'm just mind blown. And then, of course, everybody in the comments, they're like, that's because you're so awesome, Katie. Like, you're just great, Katie. You're such a good person, Katie. You would never do XYZ, Katie. Like, we're so proud of you that you didn't sell out for this and you didn't sell this. And I'm just so blown away that she's painting herself to be this savior. I've done the right thing. I have these big networks or media outlets coming to me wanting to buy this for big money, but I'm not selling it because I'm an advocate. I wouldn't feel right for doing that. All the while, I knew that was not the case. So I was really just like sick to my stomach with it. I was so aggravated with it, but I couldn't say anything. The mutual friend that me and Katie had even said, like, are you going to say anything? And I was like, I can't. Like, what am I going to say? You know, because the second I say something is the second Katie will say, I'm jealous because she got the story and her followers will believe it. So I can't. Like, I just have to sit back and watch how this is going to play out. So I didn't say anything. Later on, when it did come out that Katie possibly told Andrew not to talk to me and Yasmin Woodland, her response to that was, I didn't specifically tell Andrew not to talk to Leslie or anyone else. What I told him was we had a conversation and he told me that other YouTubers had reached out to him. I told him, be careful who you trust because you can't trust just anyone. So in my mind, I was like, so you basically told him not to trust me, Yasmin Woodland, right? That's what it sounds like to me. So to me, she pretty much admitted it. And I don't think for a second that she did not straight up tell him, don't talk to Leslie and Yasmin Woodland. So anyways, fast forward a little bit. The second video and audio that she put out, the night that she put it out, I was on a live stream and I had actually messaged with her back and forth because she told me that she was thinking about putting more audio and video out. And I told her, I said, if you do, let me know. I want to watch it. You know, Katie understands how this business works. You know, when you don't break the story, you go off whoever does break the story, or you go off other outlets. So like a lot of times I go off the Ashley. Katie, she goes off TMZ, the Ashley, whoever, if we don't break the story, you know, and a lot of times I don't break the story. Katie sometimes breaks the story or whatever. But the way this works is when a story drops, say with TMZ, we go and read the story, we go and maybe look up a few more articles off of it, and then we report it in our own way. If there is audio or video, just like when Gino, Mama June's boyfriend, crashed the Suburban into their house, what happened? All the other media outlets, myself, Katie, we all went to TMZ. We recorded that and we played that on our channels. You know, other media outlets showed it on their outlet. You know, that's the way that it works. So the second video that Katie dropped, I was actually on a live stream. I talked to her earlier that day. I had asked her, hey, let me know if you are going to go live and put this out there. I want to be able to watch so I can do something on my channel as well. Well, she didn't do that. And for whatever the case may be, she actually went live while I was live doing a live stream watching Teen Mom. We were live on my channel and someone comes in and says, hey, Katie's about to go live and drop more Amber audio. And I was like, oh, goodness, really? So I left my live stream on because we were live streaming at Teen Mom. And I ran and got my son's device and I screen recorded her live stream, or I recorded it somehow in the bathroom. And I was just kind of running back and forth. When a commercial would come on, I would run back in there and I would keep on with my stream. And when it went off, I contacted her and I was like, hey, I didn't get to watch it really because I was on a live stream, but you know, I know that you drop more Amber audio and video. Can I use this to make a video myself? And she told me no. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the very first video dropped, she got mad at people who reposted the audio. She straight up called other creators out and was like, do not use this. So the second time I was like, I'm going to ask her. I was like, it really doesn't make sense for her to tell people not to use this because this is how it works. Andrew even said his sister put it out there because they wanted everyone to see it. So when I contacted Katie that night, I was like, hey, can I, you know, take that and do my own little video and, you know, whatever. She was like, no, you can't. She was like, here's a picture of the door. You can do that. She was like, but the family is very particular. They want everything said a certain way. They want the story laid out there a certain way. So they don't want anybody just picking the story up and, you know, talking about it. However, here's a picture of the door. Show that. And I was like, that makes no sense, but that's what I done. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put this out there. I'm just going to put out there what she told me that I could. And I even said on my channel, I was like, you know, I asked Katie and she said that I couldn't. So this is what Katie gave me permission to post. So here it is. I did reach out to Andrew later on and he finally did start responding to me. And he said, you know, no, my intentions was not for one YouTuber to get this and sit on it and play it on their channel. It was for everyone to to pick it up and play it on their channel and media outlets to blast it to the masses. It wasn't this thing like she says. So she lied. Katie is working with someone that she views as a victim of domestic violence, and rather doing what they wanted her to do, putting this out there so it could spread like wildfire so everybody could see what they went through. She's keeping it to herself so she could be the only one to make money on it. And that infuriated me again, because I'm like, you're not doing this for them. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it so you can make the most money possible. She literally told me to tell my followers that if they wanted to hear the audio or see the actual video, that they needed to go to her channel. I done it because I didn't want that fight. I didn't want to be, back and forth again. So that's what I done. I told my viewers, like, this is what she gave me permission to use. And if you want to see actual video and audio, you're going to have to go to her channel. Once again, though, it told me that Katie was not being honest. She was not being honest with her followers. She was not being honest with me. She was not doing what the family asked her to do. She likes to say that she did not make a lot of money. For a while, she would say the videos weren't monetized, but you guys can see right here, this is an ad in the video. You guys can look at the Social Blade and see that literally, I kid you not, Katie's Social Blade went from like an estimated, I think it was like $1,600 that month to $10K after that audio went out. So when Amber went on the live stream and said, you made $10K off my name, she wasn't joking. I mean, that was pretty much what it was. And after Amber said that, Katie jumped on a stream. Those videos weren't monetized. I didn't make that much money, but she did. I mean, Katie even told me that because of the Amber Portwood situation, she was able to buy a new living room suit. And for one to be an advocate for domestic violence, abused women, or whatever you want to call it, she thought it was kind of funny that she made all that money off someone being abused. Thanks, Amber. I personally feel like if you really are someone that is an advocate for domestic violence, you're not going to be gleeing over the fact their DV situation gave you enough money to buy a new living room set. Like, while obviously, like, you put the work into it, okay, you made the money. You can, like, I felt like saying, the hard work I put into that, I did make a lot of money, and I am able to, take care of my family better. I'm able to buy a new living room set, and that's nice. But the way thanks, Amber, for the new living room set, it did not sit well with me. Did not sit well with me at all. So I'm going to cut this video short. It's 28 minutes long. I've kind of went into a lot. I kind of went over a long stretch of stuff in like 28 minutes. During this time, me and her made amends twice. Yeah, twice before we split ways again. But these are the reasonings why we split ways. I saw all the lies. Everything that I feel like you guys have seen now, I was seeing way back then, and a lot of it was behind the scenes, and I was too scared to say something. I had a lot of heat. She had Unirock there, and every move that she made, Unirock was there to say that it was the right move, and anybody to speak against Katie. Unirock was doing multiple videos on them. So I was really scared. I did not want people to think that I was just jealous of Katie. I was never jealous of Katie. There's no reason for me to be jealous of Katie. I would never want to be in Katie's situation, in her shoes, regardless of how much money she's making. I would never want to be in her situation. What bothered me was the fact that she was lying to our viewers. And I knew she was lying to our viewers. What bothered me is she was trying to control the way I handle my channel. God forbid I go on my channel and I cover a story that the Ashley was based off the Ashley. Katie would be quick to say, the Ashley doesn't know what they're talking about. You're wrong. Everything that you said was wrong. That actually happened. That literally actually happened when Amber Portwood got the custody agreement. And it had all the stipulations on, you got to do this, you got to do that. I went live because the Ashley actually had court documents in hand. I speak to the lady over the Ashley through Facebook. I've reached out to her several times. She's always responded to me. So when news broke that they had a custody agreement and this was the custody agreement, I reached out to the Ashley and I was like, hey, like, do you have this information? She's like, yes, I have it in hand. This is what it is. So I went live and done a video on it. Katie, before I could get off the live, Katie messaged me and told me that I was wrong and that the Ashley was wrong and that she knew. She was like, I know, trust me. She was like, the information that the Ashley is giving you is wrong. You don't need to trust her. She's wrong all the time. And I literally said, I don't ever know of the Ashley ever being wrong. And the Ashley has contacts in Marion County Courthouse. She was like, I don't care. She's wrong. You need to retract that. Everybody's going to be mad because you're putting out false information. Only for the very next day, Katie to go live with the same exact story. Same exact story, the same exact stipulations every day. Katie to go live with the same exact story. Same exact story, the same exact stipulations. Everything was exact. So I just didn't understand. Like, I just didn't sit well with this because I felt like it was always, like, in her eyes, I feel like it was a competition between me and her. And I didn't understand why it needed to be. So I just, once again, for the last time, I just wanted to break away from that and just be like, we're not friends, you guys. I don't support what she does because I know that she's, in my opinion, is not a good person. In my opinion, she has lied to you guys a lot. I just don't want to be associated with that, you know? So yeah, this is my part 3, you guys. I hope I've showed you guys a lot of the reasoning and why I never could keep that friendship with Katie. There was always things that would come up to where me being who I am, I just couldn't, you know, I'll be like, I can't be friends with someone that does that. I can't be friends with someone that thinks that way. I can't be friends with someone that's going to treat me that way. I just can't. And I hope you guys understand that. There will be a part 4 to this because I have a lot of stuff that I want to show you guys in regards to Katie and the situation with Katie. So make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet and you like my content, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.
Please do not send hate to anyone mentioned in this video. This is just my experience with Katie.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me go like the video. If you guys have any questions about that, there were several times I wanted to stop it. There were several times I wanted to stop it and then comment on it, but I really didn't want to interrupt it. So yeah, I saw you guys asking questions like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Matt, a while back, Matt wanted to take a break from YouTube. So he wanted to take a break from YouTube. So that's why Matt doesn't have a ranch, but Matt is still a really good friend. And because Matt wanted to take that break, that's why you don't have a ranch. There was no falling out. After Matt decided to take a break, I remember people was like, what happened with Matt and Leslie? And it was like, nothing. Everything's fine. Calm down. Matt's going through some personal things that he's trying to tend to. So that's why Matt wasn't around for a little bit. But Matt is one of our really good friends. Yeah. He had a lot going on in his personal life to where Matt missed. I remember when somebody tried to come in and say that I bullied them and they were disabled and that I had my male mods bully them. And I was like, first off, I only have one male Matt. Only have one male mod, and he's been gone. Like, he hasn't even been here. Been through hell from the outside. We didn't know how dirty she was. And you guys, I have so many screenshots and text messages and to like prove about how Katie is. That's why this part 3 has been so difficult. I thought part 2 was going to be difficult, and I thought once I get past part 2, it's just going to be easy peasy from here, but it wasn't. So I filmed part 3, then my phone broke, and then I filmed part 4, and I had to go back and get all like the screenshots to put with it, and then I was missing screenshots. And okay, so I swear I saw the screenshots where Katie called the kids ugly. I'm positive I saw them. If you guys saw those, comment here, because I'm like, it was so long ago though, but I don't know if it was the screenshots of her actually saying like the kid is ugly, or if it was the screenshots of someone saying like, hey, Katie called your kid ugly. Katie told me that your kid was ugly, and I'm just letting you know. But there was like screenshots that come out about that. I tried to get those because I didn't have that conversation anymore. I've went through like 2 phones since all of this thank God I have so much that I did get from my iCloud. It may be on Reddit, Natalie, but it was there, where it was the Facebook group. So the Facebook group that Katie was a part of, it was, ladies that were pregnant. They ended up having their kids, and some of their kids did have some disabilities. So they all stayed in this group, and Katie ended up like having to leave the group because she got called out for calling someone's kid ugly. And the ladies in the group said, like, if one of our kids was sick, the next day Katie's kid was sicker. And I don't like to talk about her child. I am a lover of children. I love all children. I love your child, and you don't know it. Your child don't know it either, but I love your kid. So it's not that. Like, it was never that, like, I was trying to talk bad about her kid. The way that I explain it is this. Like, okay, if your neighbor has a child and you suspect that your neighbor is an alcoholic and that child's not being taken care of, and you're like on the phone with your mom, but you're friends with your neighbor's wife, right? So you're friends with your neighbor's wife, and her husband is like a really bad alcoholic, and you think maybe he's mean to the kid. So you're like on the phone with your mom one day, and you're like, man, my friend Susan.
She called our kid ugly?
No. My friend Susan, like, I think her husband may be an alcoholic, and I think he may mistreat their child. Like, I see their child outside all the time, and he just looks so sad. And like, he's come over to my house before, and he's told me these stories about his dad being mean to him. And you talk about the child in that way. So that's what it's like, right? Like, you're not talking about, so every time I've like talked about her son, it's been in reference to like situations where she potentially lied, possibly. It was never like I'm talking bad about her child. Sean's like, wait, she called our kid ugly? We ain't got no ugly kids. But no, she did not call her kid ugly, Sean, don't worry. One time somebody said our kid smelled like Marlboros and wet hot dogs or something. So your kid got a big head, looks like a wet dog, and smells like Marlboros. And me and Sean and Eli laughed about it. So, right, KJ thinks asking about her child or mentioning the situation regarding her child is abusive somehow. While she talks about all kinds of kids, while she talks about a 14-year-old and talks about a 14-year-old having an abortion, when the 14-year-old is begging her, please don't talk about my abortion. Please don't talk about my abortion. And she's still talking about the abortion. Or when a 9-year-old is, a victim of sexual assault, and Katie's like, oh, she's just being a brat. Like, you can talk about all these kids, Katie, but when someone says, I think maybe this is not the truth. Or what about that article that she done in 2017 where she said that her child was not autistic, but still to this day, she says he's autistic. Like, what about all of that? Then it's like, you are so wrong. But I'm like, if anybody can watch Katie streams and see how she degrades people and see how she picks on people, but then get mad when I question whether or not she's being honest about her son, like, I'm confused here. How I'm the bad person, but this lady over here attacking everyone and acting like people are just got some type of disease. And they sent her something in the mail, and it's like, oh my God, I can't touch it. I gotta throw it away. It's gonna go in the trash. Like, but I'm the bad person? I don't think so. She gets kicked out of everywhere. She got kicked out of her own Discord. It's just absolutely. It is Katie gaslighting other creators or other people saying, how dare you talk about my son? He is a child. How dare you, while she sits on her throne of lies, talking about anybody else's kid that she wants to. And the thing about it is Katie literally told her mods that I attacked her son for being autistic. That's what she told them. None of her mods knew at the time that my son was autistic. So when they found out, two of them, I ended up speaking to two of them later on. And when they found out that my son was autistic, they were blown away. And I was like, no, I did not attack her son. I would never do that. Wildflower, I have to get in touch with you because we have to do a stream soon. Me and Wildflower are going to do a collab soon. So yeah, that was my part 3. I hope you guys liked it. Thursday, I'm going to be live with Lori Ann. Also, what I want to say is I have so many questions for Lori Ann. But something that I forgot to talk about. Okay, so Lori Ann has a child. Her husband is now allegedly in the process of trying to make sure Lori Ann does not see her child anymore. Also, from what I understand, her ex-husband has 2 other children by 2 different ladies, which is all fine and dandy. That's not the point, that he has, 3 kids by 3 different people. That's not an issue for me. The reason I say that is because he has 2 other children. From what I was told Lori Ann's ex-husband has 2 daughters. One is like 25, one is younger, and that he does not see either one of those children, that he signed his rights away basically. And on the paperwork, it says that he is not allowed to contact those children ever because of the emotional and mental abuse that he subjected them to, that he was like under CPS investigation. And to get out of it, he just signed his rights away. So this man has these 2 children. He didn't take care of them. He signed his rights away because he was under investigation for some very serious allegations, right? So he just signed his rights away, went on, met Lori Ann. From what I was told, they had a child together and everything was fine. But now the ex-husband has been contacted allegedly by Kim. I don't know if this is true, you guys. This is just what I was told, that by Kim to get dirt, and spoken to Salty. The ex-husband, I was told, flew out to LA to talk to Salty about the situation going on with Lori. And now the ex-husband is trying to keep Lori Ann from her child. So when I bring Lori Ann on Thursday, we're going to discuss all that. I don't know what all she can talk about. These are things that I did not exactly talk to Lori Ann about. I did mention to her that I was contacted about some of this stuff. But I will ask her about all of that, and we will talk about her part in this lawsuit, how it went from her, doing declarations with Brown to over here with Salty, and where she is now. We're going to talk about all of that. I'm also going to be doing a collab with Wildflower Gypsy soon. That'll probably be talking about maybe Teen Mom stuff. I don't know, maybe KJ stuff. It just kind of depends on where everything is at. I'm going to try to do my Lori Ann stream Thursday, probably around noon, maybe. So yeah, that's what this noon Central Time is what time I'm going to shoot for. I have to get with Lori Ann to see what time she can go live, and she wants to come on face. So she wants to come on. She said, own up to the mistakes that she made, to how, sometimes she got mean with people. She says she takes full accountability for that. She apologized to me, which I'm appreciative of that. And she just wants to tell her story and how this is affecting her real life. So I want to give her that opportunity. Absolutely, Cherry Girl. During a lot of that time, I absolutely was not happy on YouTube anymore. And the screenshots that I showed y'all, that wasn't everything. I have one file that has over 400 screenshots in reference to Katie. I have like 3 Katie files of screenshots. So that's why it was so hard, because I was like, wait, I know there's a screenshot to prove this. Where is it at? And then I'd have to go over, all the screenshots to try to find. And then sometimes I couldn't find them. So then I would go to Twitter and be like, do you guys remember where XYZ was? Where can I find that? Sometimes I would find it. Sometimes I wouldn't. So, I said that I was going to put it out today. So I did, because I didn't want to keep pushing the part 3 back. There will be a part 4. I've literally even thought about, maybe I'll just throw all the Katie screenshots together and put them out, unload them all in a YouTube video, just to get rid of them. because it's a lot. And it really does show a lot about things when you see like the screen recordings of things that Katie was saying and how she was attacking people, or it just shows you a side of Katie that maybe if you're a follower or a fan of hers, you haven't seen. Or I think everybody's seen the side of Katie that we've all seen. I don't understand why people still follow her. I don't get it. I really don't. But I think maybe my personal opinion is a lot of her subscribers are purchased, and the other people either don't know exactly how Katie is, and then the rest of people are just like her.
One thing about Florien, like, yeah, she did a lot of stuff that was wrong and said a lot of stuff against, you. And I mean, I don't appreciate that or like it. I was like, it bothered me so bad when this all first started that, like, as soon as I got off work, I was like in the comment section, like that's all I like, defending your name, like, because I was blown away at the things people were saying about you. Like, I know who you are and who you've always been, and I was just so blown away by the things that people were saying. And Florien was one of those people, but, and I'm not giving her a pass for what she did at all. I mean, trust me, because I still have a lot of anger towards a lot of these people that did this stuff. But one thing I do realize is KJ is a very manipulative person. She manipulates people, and most normal people don't know that people are out there like her that will manipulate you and are constantly, playing a chess game with other people. Like, most people just have their interactions with other people, try to be a nice person or try to be an asshole. There's some assholes out there, but even like assholes aren't necessarily playing chess games with other people all the time, trying to get over on them, trying to strategically plan how they're going to get ahead and knock other people, down. There are people out there like that, and a lot of people don't realize that, so a lot of these people that were on Katie's side, they probably got manipulated a lot and believed what they were told, and they probably didn't come and watch your side or listen to you or what you got to say. Now, I mean, that only goes so far. Eventually, you got to be your own person and say, look, I'm not okay with this. But I do understand that there are people out there that, have been manipulated in this situation. So.
Absolutely. Someone said, with the content you have, how long of a video could you make? Hours upon hours. I mean, because I have so many screen recordings, screenshots. I mean, I could make several long videos. Yeah. What's funny is Katie goes online every day acting like she got away with everything. Well, I guess in a sense, maybe she kind of did. Someone said, I hope Salt is given the green light, but I also get Tati spent a fortune to get nowhere. Yeah, I get that. I maybe for Tati's money, maybe this is like a drop in the bucket for her. I'm hoping. From what I think they're going to refile. I do. Salt's be liking posts that talks about them refiling. He hearts them on Twitter. So I'm like, are you telling us something? Also, I know that Salt's has talked about this FBI investigation that's trying to track down like the hackers and figure all of that out. So I think they're trying to find a bomb attorney in Minnesota, and they're trying to figure out who's behind the hacking, because Salt's tweeted the other day, like, who would actually benefit from this? It's my opinion that Todd started this, or maybe Katie and Todd one night on a, when they were a little tipsy, they was like, we're going to do this. And they started it. Then it's gotten out of hand. But Katie thinks that she can, I've talked to Salt's a couple times through DMs. Katie thinks she can get away with everything because she has. So I think it's personally them that they hired like a hacking farm. Now, while there's some players in this that I think they've exaggerated things or they've maybe fabricated things. I think Katie and Todd, personally, my opinion, they hired a hacking farm to go after people. That's what I believe. I think that Salty is trying to figure out that it's them. That way, when they do refile, this can be something that was brought up. Look, we filed this, and this is what they done. They hired a daggum hacking team that has went after people. So not only are they harassing my client, but these are the extremes that they will go to. So my client wants her off YouTube, Twitter, because she's hacking and she's doing all this stuff. She's defaming, she's hacking, she's doing all kind of stuff. So we want her off the platform. We want $5 million, and she needs to go away. That's what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah, and I mean, I just don't know who else would benefit from it. And I've seen like them say things. People have clipped them saying things that was like so suspect. You know, it was like, why would they say that right before everybody starts getting death threats and, you know, they're accusing, you know, it didn't make any sense unless, well, I mean, could be wrong. It could not be them. I mean, I don't know. But I personally think that it probably is. I mean, we'll see, I guess. But
it wasn't too long ago that Todd like said something threatening, like
they know everything, or
he was like, Katie won because it was dismissed. We don't know if they're going to refile, but we have damaging information about them if they do.
Yeah, and then like, just like Katie, right before all that went down, it was like Katie tweeted like,
about the emails.
Yeah,
we see everything.
I know y'all are in, like all in my emails, but what y'all don't know is like we see everything in y'all's too. Or so I don't remember exactly how she worded it, but and then like the next day, there's like all these, literally like the next day, there's like all these people that are getting these phishing emails or what people trying to hack, these hacking attempts, and then like she would come on and like act all gleeful, and this is just from watching other people's videos that have clipped it and everything, but she would come on like all happy and stuff and saying that there was some breakthrough or something, acting like there was some big breakthrough on her side or something, and then like tons of death threats would come out and like people.
It was always like something about the Emily Baker. She like, we found out something very interesting about Emily Baker, and then Emily starts getting threatened all of a sudden.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Emails. And you know, it's funny because
I know, Stina.
There's been a lot of people that's had
I agree,
with
Harmony.
Katie. A lot of people that have had problems with Katie start having these hacking issues.
Yeah.
Start having people trying to get in their email.
I've had it.
With NetNet.
I've had it.
With NetNet several times. Like, didn't you just the other day?
Just the other day, it happened again.
There was another, yeah. So, and this kind of stuff didn't happen until she started having problems. Just like
thank you, Wildflower.
Her channel didn't get porn bombed all the time.
I get porn bombed every time I upload videos. I am porn bombed.
People
it's ridiculous.
Post porn comments and stuff.
I have food in my teeth. I literally saw it when I was like, porn bombed.
Salad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The thing to keep in mind though,
keep going, I'm sorry.
Even if they don't file again, it's just a matter of time before somebody sues her. Like the things that she puts out, like I'm surprised the Duggars haven't. She's said like one day everybody's waiting on the feds to bust in and like arrest Josh. Wasn't it Josh Duggar for like child porn or something?
She said they were going to.
Yeah, they were going to. What happened with that? You know, and people want to say that like, okay, these people are. Nobody knows that, and if there was so much information out about it, the feds would bust them.
Yeah. If
there was so much evidence where everybody on the internet knew that these people were whatever, you know, then the FBI would have that evidence too, and they would go arrest them. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Like when you're hearing all this information about people, like, yeah, it might be on the internet and it might seem like it's trustworthy, or somebody that you watch might be saying it and you might think it's true. But one thing to keep in mind is, like, in the real world, like the stuff on the internet, there are groups of people constantly trying to bust people that do bad things to kids. Right? There's so many groups out there. So I doubt the Duggars, have just slipped in, below the radar with all these agencies that are out there to bust these people, people like that. So it's just so unbelievable, the information that she puts out. And that's slander. That's exactly what that is. It's slander.
Yeah. So someone actually mentioned a GoFund earlier about they would donate to a GoFund so Tati could sue Katie again in the correct state. Someone actually tweeted that like 4 days ago. They said, Michael Saltz, is there a GoFund so we can contribute to ensure it gets refiled? And Saltz said, thank you, but we're good. However, since today is World Autism Awareness Day, please feel free to donate money to any of the worthy autism-related charities that are out there doing amazing work, which obviously I'm like, oh, because I have a child that's autistic. So when I saw that, I thought that it was awesome. But him saying, thank you, but we're good, I feel like if it wasn't going to be refiled, would he just go ahead and say, like, we're not going to refile? I think they're going to refile. I really do. And all you guys talking about my sweet Southern accent and how sweet I am, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I read the comments. You guys make me blush sometimes because I'm like, look at that. They think I'm sweet. I am sweet. A lot of people that will like, that's something that Katie would say. Leslie has that sweet Southern charm, but she's really not nice. Well, no, I'm not nice when you make me mad. Who's really nice when you make them mad? I mean, Sean, I'm nice, but am I nice?
I mean, she's nice. She's nice, but she's always like really nice, unless you make her mad, and just like anybody else. I mean, she's just a woman,
Yeah, like
when you make a woman mad.
I hate when people try to say that, like, because when it comes down to it, I am a nice person. I've always been a nice person, but it doesn't mean that I can't get feisty when you make me mad.
She's more forgiving, and she gives people more chances than anybody else I've ever met, and to the point to where it's caused me and her problems before. Like,
that's true.
Her giving other people so many chances, chance after chance. I mean, we've gotten arguments about YouTube. Like, I'm like, quit talking to that person. I don't trust that person. Like, quit talking to that person. And she keeps on, she's like, well, I'm just being nice to him, just being a friend. And then next thing you know, this person's making videos burning her. And I'm like, nigga, I told you to quit talking to that person a long time ago. Like, why in the hell are you still talking to, So we've had problems from her being nice and giving people so many chances and constantly giving people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I will meet or hear her talking to somebody and I'll be like, no.
Sean has he's always like, oh.
No.
He said it about, Sean has literally said it about every person that I've had problems with on YouTube. Like, from jump. He was like, oh, I don't think I trust that person. Something sounds shady about them. And I'm like, no, they're a good person. They're a good person. And then it never fails. Every one of those people, there's been issues with. Every time.
I mean, to me, like the clearest sign when you hear somebody talk is, okay, people that are out there trying to manipulate other people and trying to use other people, they relate to everything you say. They're so nice at the beginning. It's almost unbelievable. Like, you're like, where's this person been all my life? That's a red flag. When you meet somebody and they are just nice right off the bat, and everything you say, they got a story just like it, and they relate, and they know exactly how you feel, and you become best friends with them so fast, you better watch out, because that person's about to put a knife in your back. And like, I can hear when people are doing that. And like, I've heard her walking around talking on speakerphone to people, and I'm like, Nanette, like, that's not a good person. Like, you need to quit talking to them. And it's also people that start to consume a lot of her time. It's people that she just meets, and all of a sudden they want to talk all day,
all
every
day,
day.
every day.
And when I see that, I'm like, no, this person is not good.
Yeah. There's been a couple people that's been like that. And like, they ended up like flipping on me, and not just flipping on me, but flipping on me and then attacking me. And I was like, if you don't like me, just leave me alone. I'm not going to go after you. I'm not going to talk bad about you. So just leave me alone, you know? Yeah. Thank you to everybody that was like, everybody on here that like knows me. I was like, I know Leslie. She's a nice person. What you see is what you get. I appreciate you guys for that. Shine's telling the truth tonight. So I'm waiting for Salts to refile. I think it may be a minute because I think they're going to try to get over with the investigation. So like everybody in here is saying, Salts holds grudges. When it gets a little personal, I mean, Salts literally had this one case that lasted like 8 years. And then there was this one case where someone tried to like accuse his client of something. What was it? So he actually ended up finding out that the man had been accused of like sexually abusing someone.
Yeah,
so he actually ended up having
that
the
person
people
said, the people
come in and like testify against the guy. So then he had the guy put in jail for like,
it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, don't underestimate him, because if you look back into his past and you like check out some of the cases that he's been involved with, this dude's a genius. Like, he is very strategic, you know. And you know, some people got bad things to say about him or whatever. I personally think he's a good lawyer. I mean, I personally think that's what he is. He's a lawyer. He makes money being a lawyer, and he tries to do a good job of it. If he didn't, he wouldn't be representing so many high-name people, you know, and represent so many big cases. Like, okay, yeah, maybe they filed, you know, I personally believe that the court in Washington, I think the judge was like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Like, get this out of my courtroom. I am saying there's no jurisdiction here. Like, I don't want to deal with it, because it was crazy, you know. And let's be honest, like, why was it so crazy? Why was it so different from every other lawsuit, you know? Was it because of Michael Sauls, Michael Brown, Katie, or Tati Westbrook? I mean, which one created all the chaos and all the
Katie?
craziness? Yeah, you know, like, why would she do that? Because that's what she does. You know, she's a master of chaos to bring other people down into, you know.
Yep. It's always like anytime you get involved with Katie, if you have any issues, it's not just this like one and done. Like, I had an issue, moved on. I mean, I've had issues with people before, and it's like one and done. You know, I'm not going to go after you. You're not going to go after me. We butted heads for a second. Bam, whatever. Keep moving. It don't happen like that with Katie. Like, Katie will start talking crap about you, and then when you respond, it's like, oh, how dare you respond to me dragging your name through the mud?
All of a sudden, you're talking about her son. You're talking about, you know, you're doxing her. You're doing all kind of stuff, you know. And she always hits all these little. She's got the same points that she tries to attack everybody with and accuse them of doing to her, you know. And it's all stuff that she does to everybody else. And that's one thing. Like, earlier, I was talking about how she manipulates people. But honestly, when you kind of look at it, you're like, and you see her subs, and you're like, how can you be so naive to where you think it's everyone else and not this woman?
Right.
Like, this woman has problems with every creator she comes in contact with. She can't get along with anybody on YouTube. Versus everybody else, they seem like they get along just fine. I mean, you stream with Sherelle, you're supposed to stream with Wildflower Gypsy, and you don't have problems with anybody else. You and Yasmin Woodland,
we're fine.
Yeah, y'all
I haven't talked to her in a while. But
yeah, you haven't talked to her in a while, but y'all got along just fine. Who else?
I mean, me and Wooden Eagle, we're really good friends. Me and Backwoods Barbie are cool. The only people that I don't really talk to is people that don't like me. Like, there's creators out there that for some reason don't like me. Katie was one of them.
Who else? Not really anybody else.
not big. There's only
You
like
had the
one
problem
other
with
big
John.
creator that
You had the
me
problem
and
with John
John
Yates,
Yates,
but
but
y'all,
we're good.
y'all both like okay. That was like a normal. It wasn't necessarily a normal issue, but it was a norm. It played out normally, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like you and him had an issue. He had an issue with something you said. Y'all kind of went back and forth. It died down.
Very
Nobody
quickly.
said it died down instantly almost. Everybody said what they had to say. Nobody said anything else about it for months. And then a couple months later, Leslie and John talk on Sherelle's stream, put all the
Fine,
differences
yeah.
behind them, and they're fine. You know, what's the difference here? Like, why can't this happen with Katie? I mean, her subs have to ask themselves this. Like, there has to be some kind of rational thinking. You know, eventually they have to say, why does this creator that I watch and believe everything she says, why does she have problems with so many people? So
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, literally, I don't think Sherelle had any problems. Like Sherelle has been on YouTube for a while, doing great, never had any problems. She brings Katie on, and she's had problems since then with like several people because of like I swear I feel like it all stems back from Katie too, pretty much. But yeah, for you to sue Katie and have Sauce as your lawyer. I do have an attorney. I'm not suing Katie. I mean, maybe that day will come one day.
We're
I
in
don't
another
know. We've
lawsuit
thought
right
about
now.
it, but yeah, we're not. We have an attorney where we're dealing with some other things, but
one's enough for us right now.
yeah, we've discussed it. You know,
We definitely have gathered evidence,
we have a lot of evidence.
and we've made sure, like even through her losing her phone, that we keep the evidence just in case that day ever comes, because I'm not putting it. I won't rule it out. If I told her the other day, if I had $5 million, I'd take $4 million of it and use it on suing Katie in every court in the United States just to freaking drain her financially or whatever, because I feel like what she does to people and what she's been doing and what she's been getting away with is just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's completely wrong.
Yeah,
and
somebody needs to stop her. And James Charles May. I know there's a lot going on with James Charles, and I don't know for sure because I haven't really kept up with it too much. But I know she's really going after James Charles. So I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe Tati will again. Maybe the Duggars will. It would be nice if everybody hit her all at once, because there's no way she could fight against all of them.
The stuff going on with James Charles, I don't know that I believe all that. I mean, I think some of that's kind of shady. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I'm just kind of like, why would this dude keep putting himself in these situations on purpose after everything that's gone down?
Even me, when I talk to people that I'm not like, that I know is not my friend, I'm very cautious about what I say to them because I'm like, how can they twist this against me?
Yeah, I don't think that he would keep doing that. I think he's getting set up by some of these people. And I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, I'm just saying that because I feel like if that is the case, somebody needs to say it because the whole internet's going after James Charles right now. I don't like the dude. I mean, but still, what's wrong is wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing, Dee, is Katie gets pleasure out of people's pain. When I was going through my channel being shot down thanks to her, going through my nephew passing, going through an arrest, a false arrest at that.
What about me?
Katie was kicking me, Sean losing his job.
No, I mean, that's what she was saying. Like, what about
That's
me?
what she said. Yeah, that's what she said.
What about
because
me?
people
What
was in
about
the
me?
chat saying like, Flossie and Leslie are going through a lot right now. Let's leave them alone. She's like, well, what about me? What about what I've been through? Excuse me? First off, anything that's ever happened, it has been because I was just doing my own little thing on YouTube when you came attacking me. So any fallout that has happened since then from that, you brought it on yourself,
Kenny, I think everyone's going after. I don't know too much about it, so
yeah.
I think everybody's going after James Charles because I think he keeps getting caught up. Like, how old is he? 20?
I think he's like 20. Let me see.
21, 20 or 21.
We don't know much about it
And
either, but
he keeps getting caught up with like underage boy charges, like he's talking to underage boys or whatever, and he's saying that they're telling him the wrong age, right? That they're telling him.
which I know people will do
That happened to me when I was 17. There was a girl who looked very much like she was 17, 18 years old.
It's 21.
And she told me that she was 17, and I was in the state of Georgia, and she was 14. And when I found that out, I broke up with her, and it was hard to do. But I mean, because I liked the girl a lot, but I broke up with her because in the state of Georgia, I could have went to prison for that. So he admitted to wrongdoing in his apology video. So
Yeah,
maybe,
what
maybe
I
he
saw, I think, is him saying like he didn't vet appropriately. Like in his last apology, he's like, "I'll make sure I verify their age," but he didn't. He continued to like talk to people, and I'm like, "You are even me. I like if I was gonna do that, being James Charles, like I'm Elle Bee, Lilo Elle Bee. But when I talk to people, I always think like, how can they use this against me if they were going to?" So if I was him in a position to where I'm literally using my social media to try to find me a boyfriend, I would be like, okay, if this person was going to exploit this, how could they? How could they twist this, you know? And I would just be very careful with what I said.
Yeah, he needs to start checking IDs and stuff, you know. I just don't understand why I don't understand him continuing to put himself in a situation like that, because I think this is like the second or third time that he's having issues.
It's been several times.
So I'm like, surely this dude isn't continuing to do this, like, right? You know? I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I just feel like, you know, I know that sometimes teenagers will lie because it happened to me. You know, I know that sometimes they'll lie and say that they're older than they are, and then somebody gets caught up. I had a friend, he got caught up, and the girl's parents did not like that. He went to prison for 4 years, you know, and he was 17 dating a 14-year-old, or she might have been 13.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is when you're a young girl, I mean, how many of you on here lied about your age when you were growing up? I did. And it wasn't because I was trying to like do anything wrong. I was friends with a girl. My neighbor was a lot older than I was. I was like 12 and my neighbor was like 19. And we started like going and riding around in town on Fridays and Saturday nights, you know. And of course, my friend who was like much older is like, "Hey, you're 17, right?" Or I think it was like 16. Like, "Hey, you're 16. Well, really? I mean, I was young. I don't know if I was 12, but I was probably like 14 or something, you know, like, and I wasn't doing it thinking, oh, I'm going to hook up with a guy that's older, so I need to make him think I'm older. It was just when you're hanging out with older people, if you say I'm 14, then everybody's going to look at you like, why you got the baby here with us, you know? So you just kind of, I mean, I never wished any harm, but I know a lot of girls that said they were older than they were, not doing it to hurt anyone. Now, if guys are texting James Charles and they're 14 and they say I'm 17 or 18 or whatever, however the age you got to be, they say I'm 18, I think they may be doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, well, see, somebody said that he told the 15-year-old happy birthday. And if that's the case, I mean, hey.
Happy sweet 16.
He needs to be
Send me a pic.
He needs to be in trouble, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I don't know everything about it. If he is talking to young boys on purpose, then he needs to go to jail for it. I mean, I have no sympathy for anybody like that. I was just thinking, like, what if, being that he's famous, like, and this has happened like one time, and then he apologized for it, and like said he was wrong or whatever, and it happened again. I don't know how many times it's happened, you know. But I was just wondering if maybe people were lying to him about their age, being that he's this famous YouTuber. But yeah, I mean, if somebody else said older is better, I mean, I'm kind of like, why don't you go after
older
people that are just older than you, so you don't keep getting caught up?
Right.
Because if I was a millionaire and I got caught up in some situation like that, I think I'd be dating 50-year-old women.
No crap. Well, you know
I'm
what?
like,
we
man, I'm
actually
going after the old ones.
we actually talked to our boys about it the other day in the vehicle. We were like trying to. We were on our way to Easter, and I was like, I don't really know what's going on with the James Charles situation, but this is what I think it is. Is like these young boys are lying, and I'm like, well, I lied about my age. So then we have our kids in the car. We're kind of talking about it, So then we like tell our boys, we're like, listen, girls will lie. When you get older and you start talking to girls, like they're gonna lie. Like, don't ever get caught up with a girl. And I don't think girls do it necessarily to trap a boy, right? But when it comes down to it, parents can find out about something. They can send a boy to jail.
It's just something stupid that teenagers do. I mean, it's just a part of life. But yeah, that's the thing. Like when the parents find out about it, that's where the issues come in. Like I know for our daughters, it's like, man.
Oh, whoa! He asked one of them to put their phone on the shower floor so he could see everything. Oh,
yeah. If that's all the case, then he needs to go to jail. Then
booty hole.
Because that's he has a problem. He has an issue for sure.
Shine. I'm gonna go stand in the shower and put that. That what? Why would you want to see that? I don't even think that's cool. Like,
it's kind of weird.
There was this one. Who was it? There was this one famous person who got caught sending a video where he put the phone behind, and he turned around to his backside and picked his leg up in the air to show like a clear shot of like booty hole and testicles. And he sent it to this girl. Who was it? It was a famous guy. It was a famous guy that done that. And he's on a reality show.
That's so weird.
He's on a reality show, and on the show, like he got called out by some of his friends. I was like, "Why'd you do that?" He was like, "She asked for it." Oh, Chicago.
Oh yeah, not Chicago.
Black Ink Chicago. Black Ink Chicago,
yeah.
And it was 4. It was 4. 4 was dating Nikki, but he was Snapchatting this other girl, and the girl was like, "I want you to send me a Snapchat of like from behind of your booty and your testicles," right? So he did. He's like
this is
butt naked. He's like butt naked.
This is disgusting.
Showing his backside, picks his whole leg up and shows the brown eye. You know what I'm saying?
That's so nasty.
Oh, and he sends it to this lady, and then this lady like sends it out to everyone. She like snaps it from her thing. So his girlfriend finds out about it. Like it gets sent to the girlfriend. It was like, oh my God, your man is like sending like booty hole pics to people. They're floating around. So then she has to confront him. So then on like the next season, his brother's like, "4, what were you thinking? Like, why did you do that?" And 4's like, "She asked me to." It was like, "I did it."
Man, there's some things that
if I asked for a video of your booty hole, would you send it to me?
I say, hell no. What's wrong with you? Hell no.
Oh my! I wouldn't. Who would want to see that?
That's so weird.
Probably him. It was
weird.
A setup.
People are weird.
Set up.
Total set up.
And he's like famous. Like first off, 4 is like a rapper. He's like well known in Chicago for being a rapper. And not only that, he's on Black Ink Chicago. So he's like famous for that too. Like how are you gonna get on Snapchat and show your whole booty hole?
Somebody kept asking if James was did he pretend he was pregnant?
Huh?
Or something? I don't
James
know.
Charles?
Yeah,
I don't know how that's be possible.
I think somebody kept asking. I thought I saw it twice. But
I don't know.
Anyways.
Trey is 16.
So yeah, we got one son that is not too. I mean, it won't.
Oh, Flossie, I didn't know you was gonna tell this story. And one time I got a booty pic because he had a hemorrhoid and didn't know what it was. I wish I had screened that comment because it was golden. Now that's something that we have had that conversation before. I mean,
About her hemorrhoids.
don't out me like that. Oh, I was pregnant. No, it was his. Anyways,
Well, I've had hemorrhoids since. I mean, I don't even know, since I was like 7 in the Army. I mean,
that's so funny.
it's just a fact of life with me and the jobs that I've had.
He did a day in the life of a pregnant person with a fake belly and a I did see that. James Charles done a day in the life of a pregnant person with a fake belly and a maternity shoot. I did see that. So yeah, so Flossie has a son, my nephew Trey. And when he was visiting his dad over the summer, a 23-year-old girl, Trey come back, booed up. Trey come back, booed all the way up.
Yeah,
With a 23-year-old girlfriend, basically. And Trey was like, "Arr." But no, Flossie found out about it, and the girl called Flossie to explain things. Trey just listened to me, and he was, I needed a friend.
Here's the thing, like, for a long time, I think, and even like as a kid or like a teenager, like, we didn't think that anything was wrong with that, or like that. If one of us would, either me or my buddy would have had like a 21-year-old girlfriend, we'd all be high-fiving each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it's not right. It isn't right. And you see it more and more these days that, used to, it was like men were like the predators, right? And there's still a lot of them out there. It ain't like the numbers are dwindling with them. If anything, there's probably more these days. But it seems like more and more women are starting to do that too. You see like teachers. And they'll be like good looking teachers, or like a good, like they're married and have have kids. And have a good life.
Mary, that just died. Mary Lotta Mary Lavada. She had, I don't remember her last name, but she had like 4 kids, a husband. They've been married for years, and she started dating like this 12-year-old.
Yeah. And she went to prison. Then she got out.
They were together. Yep.
Yeah, she got married to that kid. It wasn't a kid anymore, but still, that's not right, man, because I don't know.
So yeah, Flossie called me one day, and I'm like on my way back from like the doctor's appointment or something. And Flossie's like, "When you get home, I need you to question Caden." I'm like, "What do I need to ask him?" If Trey has a girlfriend. I'm like, okay. So I get home, I'm like, hey, Kate, because Caden, my son, Caden, and my nephew, Trey, are best friends. So I'm like, Caden, do you know if Trey had a girlfriend? Yeah.
We strapped him down and waterboarded him.
No, we didn't. Do you know her name? Oh, I think it was something, says the girl's name, and he's like, but they broke up. And I'm like, okay, so then I have to call Flossie, and I'm like, yep, Trey had a girlfriend.
Yeah, if they don't, ain't nobody learned, don't tell Caden nothing.
Yeah, honestly, really, there's a lot to the story, but she definitely manipulated Trey. He actually believed that he loved her, and she used him. But yeah, when it really comes down to it, it's actually really sad because Trey, like, he was like upset about it.
Here's why I think it's wrong. And I didn't think like this.
And I want to say this about Trey, and then I'll let you pick up, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to say this about Trey. Trey is just the sweetest person ever, and he's very, like, a loving person. Like, he just loves people, and, like, he gets brokenhearted about things, and, Trey, Abram passed away. Before that, Trey's grandpa passed away, who he was really close with. Trey's dad is not really in the picture like he should be. So Trey has been dealing with a lot. And then he goes to visit like his dad and his grandma in another state. And this girl,
Yeah, so that's why I think it's wrong, because let's be honest, like, teenagers are very dumb, gullible, and naive. Like, even smart kids, right? They're naive. They have no idea. I remember when it finally hit me like how brutal and how crazy the real world was. And it was nothing like I thought it was as a kid or a teenager growing up. And reality set in, and it literally hit me like a ton of bricks one day because I started learning about things, like I just started learning about different things going on in the world and how bad like children disappearing and people disappearing and people never being found. And then in Iraq, seeing the reality of what human beings can do to other people, without batting an eye. To me, Iraq, when in Iraq, it was like an eye opener because it's like, okay, this is what happens if you have no police and you have no courts and people don't have fear of committing crimes and killing other people, right? And it was just brutal. It was a straight war zone, people killing people left and right, torturing people left and right, dead bodies showing up everywhere. And that was because there was no police force. People weren't scared to go to prison, so they killed each other, and that, to me, that opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, this is what people are like when they're not scared of going to prison. They're not scared of losing everything in their life. So to me, teenagers, they don't have a clue about that kind of stuff. They still live in la la land, walking around on clouds, and then, their girlfriend breaks up with them and they're crying and they think it's the end of the world. And, and then they're a month later, they're dating a new chick and, and they're high, they're high on life, and they don't think that there's anything outside of their little bubble going on, So to me, adults can manipulate kids and teenagers. They can really manipulate them on a whole nother playing field. You know what I'm saying? Like adults are on a whole nother playing field than teenagers and kids are. And they can really use that to their advantage. So that's why I think no adult, male or female, should be talking to a teenager.
I agree. She said that because someone said it. Huh. Okay. I'm getting sleepy.
If you want to know about Nicole,
What is this?
Michelle, just watch some of her old interviews. Read her book.
Who's she talking
She
about?
literally has an entire chapter on correcting her children. They have an entire chapter on how they taught obedience, blind obedience to their kids. They've written in great detail what they've done. And it's very, she talks about how she trained her children and how she corrected them. And that's what they call it. When your child does something, you correct them.
When your child does something, you correct them.
You correct them. When they do something wrong, you correct them. Not when they just do something.
She said when your child do something, you correct them.
I mean, if they do it right, you don't correct them. What else do you call it? Huh? What does a teacher do when you get the answer wrong?
You correct them.
They correct you, right? Is correct, is that a word that is like a horrible word now?
Apparently. Don't correct your children. You're a bad person if you do that, apparently. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Let me tell you guys, I was so tired before we started. I was literally so tired. But I always, when I get on these, even if I'm tired, I'll, get, a second win because these are so fun for me. Because I just love hanging out with you guys. So thank you for hanging out with me. Tomorrow, if you guys are bored and you want to go back and watch my part 3, by all means do so. It's limited ads right now, so it just means I don't make the money that I would make. It is what it is. So if you get bored, you can go back and watch it. Give it a thumbs up. I am trying to get back in the algorithm of where I used to be. And that's been hard. Literally, it's been a while. I mean, it's been over a year since my channel was shut down. And you guys, I'm just now getting back to that place. Just now. So it's been a lot. thank you. But yeah, thank you all for hopping on. Remember, guys, when Lori comes on Thursday, I know there may be some people in the chat that Lori has attacked. I'm just asking you guys, just give her a moment to talk. Please be respectful. Don't come and attack in. If you guys want to say, like, hey, Lori, you said XYZ to me and it hurt me, I'm sure Lori would apologize. I'm sure Lori probably feels bad. She told me that she feels bad for believing Katie to be someone that she wasn't and then attacking people the way that she did. So just remember that Lori's going through a lot. And I hate to see anyone really suffering from YouTube drama, like in real life. So thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I will see you guys. Wildflower Gypsy, I'm going to be getting in touch with you because we got to plan a stream soon. I was supposed to go on Sherelle's World today, actually. But we were supposed to go on to talk about Mama June, but I didn't hear from Sherelle, and then I had to take my son to the doctor. So, we didn't, but maybe next Tuesday. If not, I will be going live with Wildflower Gypsy. I also want to go live with Wooden Eagle. I really want to. So, yeah, I would like to start doing more collabs and just bringing on people that I enjoy watching and introducing them to you guys.
I bet people are like, man, they are always taking one of their kids to the doctor. We are.
We are.
We
Sorry.
Are. We always.
Thank God he didn't have a broken arm, because that would have been another thing. Oh my God, their kids' bones are always break. They're beating their kids.
They are. Hey, our kids are rough. Man.
It happens. Yeah. Thank you, Candy. Good night, everybody. It's late. Sean's got to do schoolwork because we're always busy. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Do you want to say bye, babe? You want to stick your hand over here and say bye? No.